There's one thing I hope to never see in Northern Ireland again in my lifetime, and that was the horror of people being burnt out of their homes by sectarian or bigoted reasons. And yet, over the last 24 hours, we've seen people trying to rationalize attacking individuals at random due to the actions of one horrible man. It is possible for us to hold two thoughts in mind. It's possible to condemn the man that stabbed and attempted to hurt that individual in a ghastly way, an absolutely ghastly way, which he unfortunately will have to suffer with for the rest of his life if he lives, of course. But it's also possible to hold enough mental space in our brains to condemn the reactions. And before I go on, I have this to play from 1969. Any Catholic supporting people being burnt out, any nationalist in Northern Ireland, remember, less than one lifetime ago and well into the 70s, that was you being burnt out. And you taking the side of people burning out people randomly from their ethnicity should make you very uncomfortable. And I'm not going to mince words. I don't care if you like me or dislike me from my point of view. What you're doing is stupid if you slide with people doing it. I'll play this in any case.
Ready to lift it. But when I seen this character and all the crowds and they were throwing stones and petrol bombs and like everything they could do, I just got the chill to grab them and I run with them. Like I'm being quite honest to run with them because you couldn't have done nothing else, you know.
My mummy says to the neighbour next door, don't worry, she says it'll only be oil windows and that we'll have to put in. But when we turned the corner and we seen the houses, they were all burnt. Everything, there was all burnt, and we were just starting them. What had we run out in? I can never forget that. That was the scariest part. You know, and then you were saying, oh my God, we've no house to go to, where are we going to go? You know, but as my mummy said, old houses, you can get another house, but you can't, there's nobody has another life.
It was a complete shit. Yeah. The only thing that we got out of the house was our dog.
And, yeah.
Because it was in the yard at the time. We come back here on the 11th of July. 1970, 49 years back in this house now.
And like when you think we were starting in the clothes that we went out of this street that day then.
Now, having finished that, everybody who has nationalist heritage from Ireland or is second generation Irish or who grew up in London like myself and has Irish parents will mostly be aware of some facet of the Troubles. Some people may know more about them than others. Some people may find it more interesting than others. That's understandable. But we do not, if we claim to be a civilized society, burn random people out of houses for the actions of one man and the evil he committed. If we're doing that, we're not defending society. We're just weaponizing xenophobia. I have something else to read out when I get rid of that off the screen. And I press share again. I'm going to read this out. It's not my text. It's by a gentleman who runs a channel on Facebook and a website called The Nuri Spud, where it's semi-satirical, but I thought he'd capture the main points in a rather scathing style. Brits suddenly interested in the north of Ireland since they colonised it. English loyalists and unionists across the UK have confirmed they've never been as concerned about community safety in this part of the world since their ancestors arrived here during the Tudor conquest, and decided the best way to make friends was to take the land, rename half of it, and act shocked when people notice it. Following a horrific knife attack in Belfast, online patriots immediately sprang into action as to do what they do best: ignore the victim, ignore the facts, ignore the police, and use one man's suffering to stir up enough racial division to power a bonfire on the glorious 12th of July. Probably a million bonfires, unfortunately. Police have arrested one man, not a race, not a religion, not every person with a slightly different surname than Smith. One man. But that hasn't stopped the usual pound-lined Empire loyalists from treating these 6 counties like a Netflix documentary they can use to justify the opinions they already had before the attack even happened. A spokesperson for people who definitely aren't racist, but said we're just asking questions before asking no questions at all, and instead posting 14 Union Jack emojis under a blurry screenshot they got from a man called Big Rab's Patriot News Updates. The victim deserves compassion. The people who tried to help deserve praise. The police should be allowed to do their jobs, and the racist ghouls using blood on a Belfast street to push their dirty, weird agenda deserve to be told exactly where to go. Because if your first instinct after his brutal attack is not, I hope that poor man survives, but great, this will be good for my anti-immigrant Facebook post, then you're not defending the community. You're the reason it needs defending. And I absolutely agree. The amount of nonsense and silliness I've read on Facebook comments this morning and YouTube comments, you're not defending the life of that man who was hurt. You're not defending the society of Northern Ireland or Britain or Ireland. What you're doing is repeating the actions we saw in 1969. You're just finding another new group to burn out. And anyone doing it on behalf of Ireland, well, you're a disgrace to the country.